KB Marine, Chris Kenner Racing Specialties, Valor Law Group, Eisenhart Excavation, and Brewster Marketplace. Thank you again for your support. It is very much appreciated. We couldn't do this without you.
All right. We have need for 4 able-bodied men. Does not matter whether you're a racer or not, but we need help down at the gazebo with some tables so that Paula and Steve can get the lunch out to folks. And I don't know for sure, but I think we're gonna probably bring in folks now, get the lunches to them. We are on a wind hold at least 20 minutes, and it'll take about 10 minutes. They need 10 minutes warning. If we can go back at that point, we're hoping that's where we go. But we need 4 able bodied men. I'm not trying to go against the ladies, but would really like 4 able bodied men to help with those tables down there. As you can see, we've got boats coming to the pits. We want to be able to serve them lunch. One of the things that PNBRA is doing is providing meals for all of those that are in a help mode as far as on the water. Folks like myself and Jill that are up here are referees to make it a little easier to volunteer. I know for myself personally, if I'm on my own, don't always think about bringing a meal with me in the morning, and a lot of times it's difficult depending on locations. So we're bringing some folks in, going to try and get them fed. So we need those tables moved. Hopefully, you guys are already on it. Get that done. Hopefully, we can get fed back on the water, and the wind will cooperate, and we can move on. And take a quick break here. I'm going to get a quick drink of some water. And we will keep you apprised over the next few minutes. We will not be dead air for a while. We may be when we're eating, but we we will do our best. Sometimes you have to eat on the run, so it's okay.
just a just as a reminder, Cindy with the fire department has cotton candy, popcorn, snow cones, and lemonade for your refreshments. Go see Cindy if you're looking for something sweet or a refreshing drink. Thank you for Cindy for all your hard work this weekend. We really appreciate you being here and providing all of us with your wonderful refreshments. We'd like to say thank you to all of our rescue, our towboats,
Everybody.
and everybody that has been diligently putting in all of the hard work to make this event happen this weekend. Our officials, our drone operators, my cohort over here.
You don't have to call me names. And that is Higher Vantages that's doing the drones this weekend and will the next two events this year.
Our turn judges, our pit bosses.
Hey, our crane operator.
Yes, especially Harvey, our crane operator.
Harvey, we haven't talked about Harvey this weekend, but Columbia Crane does a wonderful service for us. Harvey does most of our events. Great guy, easy to work with. He didn't really even ask anything. He just shows up and does it, and sometimes has to explain, this or that won't work, but we get it done. He does a great job, and Columbia's been more than fair about what they charge us. Makes it very workable, and without that, we would be in a world of hurt. But no, we got so many people here, and thank you to those of you along the river today watching this event, and those that were here yesterday. Again, September 7th, we will be in Brewster, 7th and 8th. The end of September, we will be in Manson, Washington for 2 days. And then a week later, the Unlimited Vintage Hydroplanes will be in Chelan for Mahogany and Merlot, or Plywood and Beer, as our good friend John Krebs likes to call it. Where that, knowing Krebs, yes, I understand. Because he wouldn't be the wine drinker, he would be the beer drinker. And being around boats for a long time, there's a lot of plywood. But another great event, and that will end our season for all of inboard type hydros or unlimited hydros in the region. And in the meantime, Patrick, are you okay? Okay, glad you're here this weekend, my friend. We have San Diego Bay Fair for H1 GPs down there. I think there's a 1 liter. I know there were some other inboard classes. I think E350 is going down. But we got some more racing to do. Then we'll regroup. 1st of November, I think it is, we will be doing the region meeting. Elections are going to be held here shortly, as Chairman Stevens reminded everybody this morning. And if you are a member of APBA and a member of Region 10 and would like to be a part of leadership, there are positions available. I think everybody on the board, with the exception of Aaron, is up for election because they are 1-year terms. So you've got vice chairman, you've got treasurer, you've got secretary, you have board members. Those positions are open. And I would encourage you to think about it. I've done a number of no, you don't shake your head. I'm not. This wasn't a message for Jill. You know, I started out and I got sucked in, which is the late Doug Whitley's told me. I think Don Kelson's going to quit as a region vintage rep at the region meeting in down in La Quinta Inn in Tacoma. And he said, and you're going to be appointed. And I said, I don't know if I got time. I was still working stiff at that point. And he goes, oh, it's only a couple hours a week, never any more than that.
Ha
Well,
ha ha.
he was lying big time. And there were times that I would have 30 to 40 phone calls a day. I would spend 4 to 6 hours at a time on different issues. Uh, David Kancianich was my second at that point, I think, and then I think Paul did it, and then I appointed you, Joe Glass, and
Yes,
she
you
doesn't
did.
like me to say this, but she was the best of the bunch.
Well, I appreciate that.
No, you were, and my final year, and going back to what happened, my final year, she was on top. She knew what was going on. She took care of stuff I didn't even have to think about, and it made my job really easy. Didn't make hers any easier, but made mine easier. And I see we're going to have, yeah, it's picking up a little bit.
We just
Not,
had a nice little wind gust go
yeah,
through.
and I'm looking at the pop up we're under and hoping it doesn't go away. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. But so I stepped out of that, and I was also vice chairman of Vintage at that time. Made a decision it was time for me to step out of leadership, and Aaron was stepping down as the region chairman, and dumb me said, I'll step in. We need someone. I'll step in. So I did that for 2 years. And so, and in the process, I've also been club vice commodore, board member on the region board. I mean, a lot of things. We all have a place in this. And I encourage everybody to consider it. It may not work for you, but we all have an opportunity, and I also think an obligation in many ways. And that's not to guilt you or anybody else into anything, uh, because I know what you do with the museum. I know what you've done with Vintage in the past. I know your participation still. So it's not about guilting like that.
I don't
But
feel guilty.
no, and you shouldn't, not at all. But the thing is we need people to give back.
Yes, we do.
And it's very important. And without that, we suffer. So that's my spiel, and I'll stop at that point. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you have the mic for a minute. I'm going to drop the front of this down a couple of notches, and hopefully it doesn't pick up quite the wind. We can still see. And like I say, we hope this wind doesn't pick up.
Right. We keep our fingers crossed. We'd love
Don't
to
want
be
that.
able to finish out our program for you today. Again, we are on a wind hold. It will be reevaluated here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. It's just not safe for us to send, especially the smaller outboard classes out there with what's going on in some of these turns and on the straightaways. Some of our bigger boats might be able to go out, but again, that's going to be determined by the race committee based on what the forecast is showing us and what we're seeing and feeling here. Unfortunately, we are seeing a few white caps out there, which doesn't bode well for what we'd like for it to be like as far as water conditions for our racing. But keep your fingers crossed that Mother Nature will settle down and we'll be able to go back out. So what we're hearing is that we are going to be pulling our 1.5 stock T boats out of the water. And once they finish up with that, our Grand Prix will be going in, followed by the National Mod, and they will go out and do a test slash exhibition, basically feeling the water out, seeing how it is, also getting a little bit of seat time. And then we will reevaluate and see where we are. Again, we're hoping that the water settles down, the wind settles down, and that we're able to finish our program out. Again, thank you to the city of Pateros. Thank you for all this to all the spectators that have come out to support us this weekend. We love putting on a show for you, and it's unfortunate that the wind has picked up and we're not able to put boats out on the water currently, but we do have to be safe and ensure that all of our all of our humans are on the beach and able to come out on another day if for some reason Mother Nature doesn't agree with us and decides to keep this wind up. We'd also like to put out a big thank you to Steve and Paula Andrew, who are making or have made all of the lunches for our volunteer for the weekend, as far as the rescue personnel, all the officials, us announcers. It's wonderful to have them. They're a welcome addition and to our family, and the lunches that they provide us are some of the best that we've ever had.
There's no doubt about that. And like at any at, we do it a little differently there. We do lunches both days, and then we have a, I don't know whether you'd call it a potluck, or basically we provide dinner for everybody that's involved on Saturday night. We even
We have
actually,
a big
oh
family
man,
dinner.
it's huge, uh, and I'm telling you, it's killer food. They've had a restaurant in the past. They've done catering. Paula loves to cook. She loves to take care of people, and I'm glad I'm in good stead there,
Well,
because
yeah.
and I, it's like Friday night, had a wonderful meal over there with Steve and Paula. Sorry, Steve couldn't have the shrimp because he's found out he's allergic to it just at the end of the Oak Harbor weekend.
Oh
Actually,
no.
had never had issues. Had some crab, I think it was, or shrimp, and I don't remember. But he was allergic to shellfish all of a sudden, and got rushed to the hospital because
Well,
his
that just
airway
leaves more
was,
for me.
yeah. But for me too. I can't do it very often, but boy, it's good.
No
Uh,
doubt.
that's the thing. I've been working on my weight for the last four months or so, and I want a captain's plate, a fried captain's plate, seafood. Oh, so bad. It's not happening right now, and that's okay. But it's it's one of those deals. They put on a great spread. They know how to do it. They did the meal at any at $400 under budget for all of the food, and we still have some food that they were able to freeze, and we're using some things now. And I don't know how far that goes the rest of the year, but we want to take care of our volunteers, and especially for those folks that are out on the water. The thought of taking a sandwich out at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, and soggy sandwiches, and
Been there, done that.
yeah, we all have, but that's not what you want to do. And they're not getting rich off of coming out here. They get compensated a couple bucks, some of them for gas and things, but because of the love of the sport, and because we care about them and we want to keep doing this, we need to take care of them. So that's a big part of this, and that's why I say, if you're interested in being a part of it, apba.org. Remember that, apba.org. You can get a lot of information there. Come and talk to us. Uh, One of the things I didn't say yesterday that I've been doing the last few events If you have a question about racing, come and see us. We're right here by the start finish line. Uh, Normally, I can get an answer for you. Sometimes I'll bluff my way through. No, I don't. I try not to do that. I'll be honest. If
You?
I don't know, I'll tell you. Uh, I don't find that a real disgrace in any way. Uh, but if you have a question, and I actually had somebody, that's why I asked Jill earlier to talk about the flags again. They said we don't quite understand, so I just incorporated that back into what I was doing because we need to inform, we need to try and entertain. But if you don't know what's going on out there, by that's what the flags mean. Oh, okay, they're going to run one more lap, or they've got 1 minute till it starts. It just helps everybody understand. So if you got a question, it may be something like that. It might be a specific boat question. If I know it, I'll tell you. If not, I'll try and find out. And I have done that for folks. If you find something that's been lost, like we had a phone today, and I don't remember, we had something yesterday too, but uh, we've had lost kids in the past. We want to do whatever we can to help everybody enjoy this. If you've lost your kid, hopefully you want the kid back. I don't say kid in a bad way, but if your child is missing, that's parents' worst nightmare. And so we're going to try and reunite and do all of that. Uh, and you saw the response if you were here yesterday with a boat going down. Everybody jumps into action. They get it taken care of. And actually, Kiwi's boat was running last night. Can't go on the race course because it has this propensity to sink until the holes are fixed. But uh, it it's what we do. That's what it's about. So we'll keep working on that. Thank you again to Steve and Paula. Great, great couple. Wish I'd met them earlier.
Yeah.
He got involved with Fred Leland when I was actually a little bit away from things. I was doing a lot of other stuff at that point, and we got hooked up here a few years ago and helped him get the boat back out of Florida, which is a funny story in its own right,
Hmm.
and you've heard it. But one of these days, I've got to call Tom down there and tell him. But we digress in that. But just great people. I knew they had the wherewithal, the talent, and the drive to do the food. And I made a suggestion a little over a year ago to Steve and Stephanie Aird, who were in leadership at the time. How about doing this? And they went, really? And that's when they got involved. Was at ENIAD a year ago, but worked out well.
We'd also like to thank Kip and Tiffany Brown for all of their hard work as race directors for the Terry Troxel Memorial Pateros Hydroplane Classic Regatta. They've put in hundreds and hundreds of hours to make this happen, and we really appreciate everything that they've done for the weekend. We'd also like to thank Lisa Malmo for all of her hard work and dedication of pounding the pavement to get sponsors for not only this race here in Pateros, but also up in Brewster, which will happen on September 7th and 8th. To George Pearson and the Hydro Homies, we'd like to thank them for everything that they've done to help promote our sport. Also to Cozy Radio and T and and T1. We really appreciate everything that you've done for us in supporting us and promoting our sport on air and getting our youngsters involved. I understand that they had quite the interview the other day on live radio.
I shouldn't laugh. There were three adults that were behind the kids: Jimmy Labrie, George Pearson, and myself. We had four kids in front of us at the microphones, and as you heard with a lot of the kids, we had a lot of one word answers, uh, and that's why I give Brody and Colby and some of them a bad time. Uh, but it's part of the learning curve as we do all of this, trying to get them some experience with interviews and all the rest. So it's great to have that happen. And I think Jill and I are going to take a quick break here and see if we can snag a meal over here and knock it off. Uh, I, I get really nasty sometimes when I don't eat. Now I won't get nasty. I might just disappear and go get a meal, but we will be back here in just a couple minutes and try and keep everybody apprised of where we are. All right, just an update for you. We had a chance to eat our food, uh, and it was delicious. Not trying to make anybody jealous or anything, but Paula did a great job again, and her sous chef Steve. Uh, and I just want to give you an update. Wind is not slowed down at all. It's picked up a little bit. We have one of our patrol boats that is going to take the GP driver, Eric Christensen, out. Uh, Officials, race directors think it's too rough at this point. Eric would still like to go out, so they're going to go out on the course in one of the patrol boats just to assess. I think once the driver sees what I'm looking at, and I look at it a little differently than some of the drivers do, uh, you'll probably understand why they're coming where they are. But hopefully, we can still get this done. Uh, we will we will do our best. But as I say, we're going to send the GP driver out on a patrol boat with one of our patrol folks who is very experienced and take a look at this. So we will stay in touch with you. Want to thank everybody who's been here. Encourage you, like we say, 7th of next month, September, up in Brewster, the 7th and 8th. The end of the month in Manson. Tiny little bay we run in Manson, but it's a whale of a race. We're uh, do our registration at Cowgirls Wines on Friday night. We go back on Saturday night. We do awards. Uh, we are supported wholeheartedly by the community and treated very well. We'd love you have your participation at those events as well as this weekend. And the end of the year, uh, the Hydroplane and Race Boat Museum has their event in Chelan, mahogany Merlot, or plywood and beer, depending on your taste of beverage. Uh, and thank you, John Krebs, for that. We will always honor him with that. Uh, but it will be unlimited, vintage unlimiteds only this year. So that that changes the landscape a little bit. We're hoping that we might be able to take a couple of inboards up there to put on display. Normally, we would take as many as 23, 24 boats up to run, but this year they're going to run unlimiteds only. And that is a museum event. That is their choice. Uh, so, we'll see how that goes. See where it goes in the future. We may be adding another vintage only event at some point. If that stays gone, uh, we'll reevaluate. That's part of what the club does, and uh, the entire region will have their input on all of that. So uh, we'll work through those things. Hopefully, it's a good program for them. I don't know how many rides they've got to give this year. I don't know how many boats for sure. They say 13 possibly. We just, we have to see what happens and evaluate at that point. Uh, so, we'll do what we can. We'd love to have you participate. First weekend in November, and I haven't heard a date yet, but that's normally when we do it. We have our region meeting. Our election results will be announced then for uh, those that are in leadership. I know Aaron Stevens has another year as chairman. It is a 2-year position, but the other positions are yearly. So uh, Aaron will not be that. That's not in dispute at this point. But everybody else, Mike Curry is the treasurer, Kelsey Egan is secretary. I'm trying to think why my brain went dead right now about our vice chairman. Uh, and board of directors for the region are all up for grabs. And if you're interested, be a part of that. But we'll do that. We take the winter months off. We're going to rebuild boats, hopefully build new boats, build new motors and trailers and all the rest. Come back in the spring, and unless things change, we'll probably start out in Chelan again the first part of May. Uh, and then we get real serious after that. We normally would start the end of April at Lawrence Lake and Yelm, but that has gone away because of insurance mandates and the fact that the state won't let us make people sign waivers to go in a public boat launch. Even though we rent the launch for the weekend, they won't allow us to do that. So uh, it took that away from us, and hopefully some of the other events. I know a couple of events for the RC folks at up near Smoky Point have gone away, Twin Lakes, because of the same issues with insurance and the state and their requirements and mandates. Uh, the fact that you pay for things doesn't mean anything anymore, I guess. So, uh, it's difficult, but we will start our year out. I know that we've got changes coming. There are dates possibly changing for some of the events, like Entiat may go earlier in the year. I know there's places that want more than one event a year. It all happens to be on the east side of the Cascades.
We also have new events potentially next year. So,
You want to talk about that?
no,
Oh, okay.
we're going to leave it as a surprise.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to say anything. Keep my mouth shut, which is unusual. I know. Uh,
So, while we've got a little bit of time, one of the things that was overlooked yesterday that I don't want to forget about today is we do have Pacific Northwest Racing Association T-shirts for sale, which is right in front of the crane pits to the entrance. Uh, I believe they're $25 a piece for the normal sizes and maybe a little bit more for the larger sizes. So if you're interested in one of those, please stop down by our crane pit area where they've got those T-shirts for sale. Be a
oh, it's a great addition to your wardrobe.
great addition to your wardrobe.
No question about that. No, and they're a great shirt. They're black in color with a cool logo and everything on them. Uh, Lots of graphics. So yeah, I would definitely encourage you to do that. Uh, I know Ed O'Keefe was running around here and he had a bunch of shirts from Oak Harbor that he was going to hand out. I don't know whether he was able to do that or not, but
Well,
uh,
man, I wish I would have known that. I'd taken one.
well, I heard something about a hoodie and he said it had my name on it, and I haven't seen it, so I'll just harass Ed a little bit.
So
Ed,
Ed
very
O'Keefe, where are you?
yeah, great guy, uh, very instrumental in fundraising and organizing up there for Hydros for Heroes. A really great program that they do, and it is a fundraiser, and it is to help a lot of different charities up in on the island of Whidbey Island, and it's the Naval Air Station. It's a transient community because we have, you know, these naval air personnel coming and going at all times. Uh, but it's a wonderful community, and Jim Wiesner, Craig McKenzie, and Better Homes and Garden Realty up there are the spearheads for that. And Look forward to going back again next year. We were the Ombre was the only vintage boat there this year, and Ed got a chance to go out and run by himself, had a ball, and then Aaron went out after that, and we had a little issue, and that ended our weekend. But well, that and the tides didn't help that day. Uh,
The other really cool thing that they do up there, like Jim was saying, it's called Hydros for Heroes. And with it being Whidbey Island and them having the Naval Air Station up there, a number of the military personnel, if they're interested, can sign up and actually be um, hooked up with or serve as a crew member on one
yep.
of the many boats that participate over the weekend. It gives them that experience of what it's like to be involved in the hydroplane world. Just like we are curious about their world, they're curious about ours. So it's a really awesome experience for those military men and women to partake. as we've got another huge gust of breeze coming through, and Jim's holding down the pop up for us.
Well, one of the things we didn't talk about, they didn't do it this year. We did it a year ago, and I was fortunate to go up there and spend a bunch of time with the base commander and get a tour Friday night at Woodby Island Naval Air Station. Met a bunch of the flyers, uh, a lot of families up there. Put a lot of young people in boats. We took a bunch of the boats over there. Uh, a lot of fun to do. Even even guys that aren't racing or running their boats for for exhibition purposes up there, like Dwayne Yarno and okay, I'm just hearing some chatter here, and they're bringing one of the rescue boats back in, so that means we're not going anytime soon. All right, it
It
is too windy right now.
it is too windy,
We will
so
we need to uh, have an update from our referee and race directors to see what we're going to do. I know they don't want to call this. We'd really like to get our program in, show it for you to enjoy, and for us to run and complete what we started. That's always an issue when you go to Eastern Washington. Western Washington, wind's not normally quite the issue, but rain is with a lot of the events we've done over there. That and toxic algae the last few years with a couple of events, mainly Spanaway. And it is getting windy. I'm going to put this mic down. We're going to drop our
uh,
canopy down a little bit more and make sure we don't lose this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're continuing to be on a wind hold at this point. We're still awaiting word from the tower as to what our prognosis is for the rest of the day. We did pull our rescue personnel off the water so that they could come in and take a break. We would like to thank everyone for being here for the Terry Troxel Memorial Pateros Classic Hydroplane Regatta. We appreciate all participants, the crews, our rescue personnel, our officials, our chef, and everyone else that I'm not remembering to thank, but we thank you for everything that you've done to make this such a success. We're now being serenaded by the Malmo's party barge. Big thank you goes out to Kip and Tiffany Brown for all their hard work in coordinating and being the race directors of this event. We'd like to thank our titles. We'd like to thank our title sponsor, Strong Racing, Daryl and Vanessa Strong. We really appreciate all that you've done for us in support of this event and their contributions to our hydroplane sport. A big thank you goes out to our other sponsors for the weekend, Brewster Marketplace, Eisenhart Excavation, Valor Law Group, Chris Kenner Racing Specialties, KB Marine, Cody's Saloon, Wright's Dollar Store, and Northwest Wholesale. Again, thank you for your support. Without you, our event would not be what it is today. If you're looking for a snack or a refreshing drink, I believe Cindy with the fire department is still up there selling cotton candy, popcorn, snow cones, and lemonade. So if you're hungry for something sweet or salty or need something to quench your thirst, please go visit Cindy. Thank you. We'll keep you updated on what's going to be happening over the next few minutes. Hopefully Mother Nature will calm this wind down and we'll be able to put our program back out on the course. Thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've just gotten word that we are officially on a win hold until 4:15. Again, we are on a win hold until 4:15 this afternoon. We're hoping that the wind will die down at that time and we will be able to return to the water. We will be back. Well, I've just been joined by Paul Kiwi Russell here at the announcer's stand. So, Kiwi, we know you put a hole in the boat. We know you sunk the boat. We know that you went in the water. So,
Give me 2 hours, and we may be able to be back out there at 4 o'clock when this thing starts again.
so, so tell me, how was the experience this morning out on the water doing course judging?
That was actually really good. It gives you a whole different perspective, Jill. We've all done it several times, volunteered for it, but you get to see a whole different ball game when you're out there. You get the boats right up and close. You're seeing the attitude of the boats, and you can see the drivers' faces as they're going into the turn. So, yeah, it's a really good perspective on racing. And um, to allude to Jim here with us, my boat's not handling properly, and we've looked at it, and I can watch the sister boat out there, which is Randy's
Water scamp.
yeah, water scamp. Um, and it's given me a better perspective on what we need to do with mine. And thanks to Jim, he's offered us great knowledge and assistance to maybe help me get this sorted out.
Oh, you're on the hook now, Jim.
Yeah. So yeah, a big family of friends here, and I can't appreciate. Uh, can't thank people enough to help me out. So it's really good, Joe.
Well, I've always back to being out on the water as a course judge. I've always said it's the best seat in the house.
Yes, well, it is. Um, as I say, it's right up and close. You can't get any closer to the boats other than if they were coming down the shoreline or something. So, yeah, that's great. This is a good spectator spot, I believe, for our spectators because we do get a good shot from them from here. Some of the other places are maybe have been a little bit more difficult, but um, yeah, it's been really good, and I'm happy to come here. We drive down each time and enjoy it. You've driven my boat. You'll be driving my boat once you fix it up again, and I'll drive that little one of yours now and again, which I don't think too many people can drive.
So I've just been informed that due to our wind hold, we are going to open up the pits to spectators so that they can come in and take a look at the hydros that are in our crane pits, and if they're wanting to make their way down to the beach launch pits, they're welcome to do that as well. So ensure so just as a reminder to our boat owners, our drivers, our crew members, please ensure that your rudders and your propellers have their covers on them for safety reasons and insurance reasons. Again, we are going to be opening up the pits for spectators to come through. Have your hero cards ready and your Sharpies. Be ready to field questions. If you are able to and want to, allow kids to come and sit in the cockpit. We always encourage that. So here's your opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. If you're here on the shoreline taking in the show, it's your chance to go in and see the boats up close and personal. So yeah, back to Kiwi. Yeah, I had the opportunity to drive Kiwi's boat in Entiat. We actually did a really fun little nice. We did a nice little exhibition for the people that were there on Friday. No, I take that back. On Saturday, I drove my vintage hydroplane, which is a 145 with a Ford Flathead V860 in it, and he drove his 280, and we went round and round and stayed relatively close together and whatnot. And then on Sunday we swapped seats, and so he drove my boat,
which is very different. Number one, the throttle's on the left-hand side, so but not a big deal. Mostly that's on the floor most of the time anyway. But this little boat's only 13 and a half feet long, and it has a three-blade propeller on the back of it, which has a tendency to want to torque the back end a little bit. So you're continually chasing the torque of the back end and this little short boat, and it is so fun to drive if you're challenged to drive a boat like this. And I love it every time I jump into it. And Jill does a heck of a job driving it.
Yeah, I already. Just a reminder, the pits are now open for spectators. So if you're interested, you are more than welcome to go into the pits. Just a reminder, please make sure that the props and your rudders are covered. And I hope that everyone that makes their way through the pits enjoys themselves.
Yeah, it's nice to see the smile on the kid's face when you put them in a boat. Um, it's kind of just as rewarding as driving it.
That was a smile on your face.
Yeah, it does. My face as well. Yeah, but it's wonderful. It's a lovely sport. I've found big family down here, and I must go and start packing up a little bit anyway. But lovely hanging out with you guys, and we'll be at Brewster.
We'll see you at Brewster, Kiwi.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Paul Kiwi Russell from Kamloops, British Columbia, the Great White North. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder that we currently are on a wind hold until 4:15 this afternoon. The pits are open for you, for the spectators. the, the pits are open for you to venture through and look at all of the boats up close and personal. A number of our drivers do have what we call hero cards, and you can get autographs and be able to meet them up close and personal. So we would encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity to go into the pits. This is your this is a great chance for you to interact and and check out your favorite boat. So again, 4:15 is the time that it will be determined what the rest of the day looks like as we continue with Mother Nature and her nice little breeze that she's giving us at this moment. Thank you. We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us for the afternoon, we'd like to kind of give you an update on what's going on. We currently are on a wind hold as the breeze is just a little too fast and we've got white caps out on the water. We currently have our pits open for spectators to go through and look at the boats, get pictures with drivers, ask questions, check out your favorite boat, and just get a up close and personal. We'd also like to take this time to thank our sponsors for the weekend for the Terry Troxel Memorial Pateros Classic Hydroplane Regatta. A big thank you goes out to Strong Racing, Daryl and Vanessa Strong, for being our title sponsor. They have brought a lot to our sport, not only with their H1 contingent, with the two boats, the Beacon Electric and the Beacon Plumbing, driven by J. Michael Kelly and Corey Peabody, but also with their sponsorship of the event and of a number of limited hydroplanes, as well as a number of the outboard hydroplanes that are here. Thank you goes to Northwest Wholesale, Wright's Dollar Store, Cody's Saloon, KB Marine, Chris Kenner Racing Specialties, Valor Law Group, Eisenhart Excavation, and Brewster Marketplace. We really appreciate their support of this event, and without them, it wouldn't be what it is this weekend. It's very much appreciated. So we say a big thank you to them. Also, thank yous go out to all of our volunteers that are here this weekend, from rescue to all of our officials, to the crew chiefs, to the crews, to the tow staff, to the turn judges, to the pit bosses, to our race chairmen, Tiffany and Kip Brown, to our photographers, Julianne Sparrowgrove and Chris Denslow. I believe Tim Crowley is here as well. We have the best, in my opinion, hydroplane photographers in the country. They are amazing at what they do and what they capture on and off the water. All of us racers are always excited to see what they've captured of us when we are out there, and have many, many, many pictures that we've gotten from them that decorate our walls at home as we put up our wall of honor. So if you're ever curious about seeing their pictures, a lot of times they're on Facebook for you to view, and then you can order them from them. Chris Denslow can be found at Digital Rooster Tails. Tim Crowley and Julianne Sparrowgrove, if you could let me know how we could find your photographs. I know Tim's on Facebook, so is Julie. So I think if you just search them on Facebook, you'd be able to find them. A lot of their pictures are also posted in Region 10 vintage hydroplanes. They're posted through, the links are probably on the Pacific Northwest Boat Racing Association Facebook page. So if you're ever curious about what is going on with what we call PNBRA, I encourage you to go to their Facebook site, where there is a lot of information about the events coming up, as well as links to APBA, which is our national organization, American Powerboat Association. And it will also give you the ability to contact our club if you're interested in becoming involved, which we encourage you to do. We are one big family, and we enjoy being together on these weekends. We spend approximately 6 months together doing this, and then the winter months come and we don't get to see each other quite as much, and you almost go through withdrawals because we spend so much time together. We truly are a family and enjoy each other's company. So we appreciate everyone being here today. Thank you so much for coming out. Again, take the opportunity to go to into the pits, take a look at the boats, ask questions, meet the drivers, and we'll be back just as soon as we can and see what the rest of the day holds for us. Keep your fingers crossed that Mother Nature will work with us and that this wind will die down so that we can continue our program later in the day. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Just checking in with you again. We are on a wind hold at this point in our afternoon of the event. We are scheduled to make a decision here at approximately 4:15 on what will happen as far as the remainder of the day. Please, whatever you need to say to Mother Nature to bring the wind down would be appreciated so that we can put the program back out on the water and try to conclude our day with some wonderful racing for you. We'd like to thank the city of Pateros for their hospitality this weekend. We always love coming over here. The weather's nice. You roll out the red carpets for us. You make us feel like we're one of you, and we really, really appreciate it. We always look forward to coming back year after year. This is one of our signature events on our schedule. So, again, thank you for everything that you've done for us. Thank you goes out again to our title sponsor, Strong Racing, Daryl and Vanessa Strong, for their support, their sponsorship, their dedication to our hydroplane sport. They are a great addition to our family with everything that they've done from the unlimited class through the limiteds, the outboards, and everything in between. If you happen to see them, please make sure that you go up and give them a big thank you for everything that they've done for us. Again, they are greatly appreciated. Thank yous go out to Brewster Marketplace, Eisenhart Excavation, Valor Law Group, Chris Kenner Racing Specialties, KB Marine, Cody's Saloon, Wright's Dollar Store, and Northwest Wholesale for their sponsorship of the weekend. The Terry Troxel Memorial Pateros Hydroplane Classic Regatta would not be happening without their support, and it is truly appreciated with everything that they've done for us. So again, our pits are open for anyone that would like to go in and get up close and personal with the hydros, meet drivers, get autographs, ask questions. It will remain open, and I will advise you once I've been told that it will be closed down for the day in the event that that happens, whether it be for us returning onto the water, which we are keeping our fingers crossed will happen, or if for some reason we're not able to go back out and the teams will be packing up and getting ready to go home. It's a lovely day. The weather is wonderful. The sun is warm. We just need the wind to die back down so that we can safely put the boats back out on the water. We appreciate your understanding, as this is for the security and safety of our drivers and their equipment. But just like you, we really, really want to get us back out on the water. So thank you again. Enjoy your afternoon, and we will be back with you just as soon as we can.
And it looks like Don's going to run past Malmo right now. The race is on. They're out there doing a check to see what the conditions are, waiting to hear back, and the officials will make their decision. But thought we might make a little fun out of it. Don was running pretty hard out there and catching Mike the farther they went, and so we'll see what we hear shortly. But we will be back within probably 10 minutes or so with a little more information and where we're headed. All right. Looks like we're going to resume. I know they're calling safety and rescue back to the water. It will be a few minutes before they're to their boats and on the course. I know we're going to try and run the GP, and then I think it's just probably a heat by heat evaluation the rest of the day. Understand that our ambulance is gone at 5. Could be wrong on that, but that's what I heard. Uh, and so we will try and keep you apprised, try and inform you about what happens with the 8 when it gets out, and see how that goes. And if it's too much for them, and it's not too much for the GP. We've seen GPs running a lot worse than this uh, at many of the unlimited sites, but the smaller boats will not tolerate it very well. And it's okay. E350 is being called to their boats.
Harvey, please return to the crane. Harvey, return to the crane.
Don's probably the fastest guy in the water at this point. Put them all up. I'm sure Don would appreciate that too. He's got a twisted sense of humor, to say the least, which is great because he fits right in that way. So, do we have a tentative schedule, or is it totally out the window?
Well, from what I'm hearing, they're wanting to put the E350s in the water. So I would think, if I'm surmising, that though they would be up after the GP. I've not heard anything else out of the tower at this point.
No.
So I think, like you said, we're going to be going class by class. Um, we are trying to finish at least I would hope, the first part of our program, but um, that does require quite a few of the smaller boats, which they may have decided to be done for the day. I've not heard that officially, but that would include our J Hydros, our 1.5 stocks. So
It also includes National Mod.
National Mod
is done.
Formula 45. So again, we're just going to have to wait to hear from our officials on what their plan is coming up.
Yep. That's kind of what we're. Yeah. Thank you.
So we just got official word from our head referee that what we just said is what we thought, in that they're going to put the GP in the water, the Grand Prix, and let it run 2 laps under green, 1 under white, and then the checkered flag to see how the water conditions are. And then we'll go to the E350s, again, our next largest class, and see how they do out there. And then it'll be made on a case by case basis.
Yep. Heat by heat, class by class, try and get as much in as we can. And I hear drones up, so. A new fan, right? Yeah, but we're not allowed to until a half hour after the last boat's off the water.
No adult beverages allowed. What I just heard from our officials is that there will not be any small boats coming out, which means our outboard classes are completed for the day. Unfortunately, the wind has affected the course enough that it's not safe for them to be out there. So, again, our small outboard classes are complete for the day.
Yeah, when it gets like this, we got to go case by case, and there's no point putting the kids out there for something that could hurt one of them. They're not in an enclosed cockpit, uh, so why do something dumb? We're accused of that anyway at times, and I just always say, well, we're boat racers, and we do things.
That's just our mentality.
Yep, yep. So, but we don't want to hurt anybody, so it's
No.
probably best the younger kids, the younger folks in the small boats, which are very light. If the winds really start picking up, you can run these things straight into wind, and they're not going anywhere. There's not enough power in them to overtake that headwind they would have. So if you're running 35 mile an hour boat into a 20 plus mile an hour wind at times, and I'm not saying we got that right now, that's just totally stupid. That's the best way of putting it. Not very bright. So.
Well, trust me, even with my
Oh, yeah.
my little boat that I run in the vintage category with some of these stronger winds that are out there, I wouldn't even be going out because it's a challenge and
That'd be
it's just
ludicrous.
yeah, it's just going to lift me up and pitch me out and it's just not worth it.
Well, your boat. That's the thing. I think about back a few years. We were looking at pictures for the poster, and all the pictures of that we saw of the Tiger 2 is everywhere but flat and on the water. It's every
Yeah.
which way, and
Well, it does it likes to do its own little acrobatic show,
Yep.
that's for sure.
For sure.
But it's a very forgiving boat, and she and I have an understanding of what I can and can't do, and we've become one, and so we tend to go out there and put on a good show, and luckily, I've never been thrown from her, and hope that that never happens.
Well, common sense plays a huge part of it. I mean, some people say we've got none because we're doing this, but there's a margin for safety, and we try hard to keep that. That's why we will get upset at times when people do things like running under the red flag and that. Uh, we just can't do that. It's way too dangerous for our folks. Uh, and frankly, the people on the beach don't want to sit here while we have to attend to incidents out there. I know there are people that go to events to see accidents, but that's not what we're about.
No.
And never will be. It's one of the things that's always bothered me about sports is that people go for that. I maybe my mentality is wrong. I don't know. I never have enjoyed that part of it. Yeah, there's been some really interesting stuff that happened, but I don't look at it from the standpoint of what happened. It's how did it happen. For me, as a boat builder and uh, designer and such, why did a boat do what it did?
And what can we do to make sure that
Yeah.
it doesn't happen again?
Make it not happen. And we're doing that right now with the bat boat that did not work well when it was first built. Very very fast in a straight line, 218 mile an hour. In fact, it's going to be as on the run, and I know that's difficult.